The night before the ship came, Roatan slept in almost perfect darkness. No pier to speak of. No glittering jewelry shops lining the shore. Just the sea, breathing gently against the reef, and a few shaky lights flickering in Coxswain Hole. Life without those cruise ships, it was simple, but it was hard. Fishermen chased grouper at the break of dawn. Women sold coconut bread and fish from crooked wooden stalls along the way. Kids jumped off half-broken docks full of that boundless island energy. And money? It came like the mailboat, slowly, and not always on time. Then, one hot afternoon, there came a knock on a small dive shop door. Inside, Alejandro Monterroso, the man behind South Shore Divers, looked up from his pile of salty gear. Standing there on the step was Lawrence August from Ocean Quest International. Folder tucked under his arm, shirt far too clean for the island heat. He posed a wild question to Alejandro. What if we bring a cruise ship here? A dive ship. The Ocean Spirit. Alejandro laughed at first, until he saw that Lawrence was dead serious. No port, no terminal, just an idea. A brave port agent named Alan Hyde, and an old church lot by the sea. The plan? Anchor that 500-foot ship offshore, and tie a single line to a square of concrete in the dirt. Madness. Or perhaps a miracle. September 5th, 1989. On the morning she arrived, the Ocean Spirit rose out of the horizon like a floating city. People panicked. They prayed. They pointed in awe. The anchor thundered down into the depths. The line ran to shore. And for a heartbeat, the whole island held its breath. Until Alejandro's knot on that little bollard held firm. The ship settled, steady, as if she'd always belonged right there. The first visitors stumbled ashore. One tourist fell straight into the water, and a local kid joked that his iguana only eats tourists who don't tip. Money and laughter spilled through streets that had never known such bustle. Long before that bollard stood, though, a Methodist church had watched over the shoreline. Hurricanes Francilia and Fifi cracked its walls and drove the congregation uphill, leaving behind an empty patch of land by the sea. That abandoned churchyard became the very spot where the Ocean Spirit first tied herself to Roatan, holy ground, transformed into the island's first doorway to the wider world. And still, some elders whisper of a time before the cruise ship back in 1979, when another vessel slipped in on a stormy night. A blacked-out pirate ship, scarred from battle, carrying only a handful of weary men and a single heavy chest. They say those pirates came ashore between the broken Methodist church and the reef, that they hid a chest of gold on church land, a treasure never reported, never claimed, and before sunrise, they were gone. No papers, no photos, no record at all, just the names of Alejandro, Lawrence, Alan, and a story that refuses to die. Some say that chest is still buried somewhere, between the old church stones and the edge of the reef. Others whisper it didn't stay buried, that years later, when another doomed ship drifted toward Roatan, loaded with timber, a few men quietly moved an old iron-bound chest aboard. That ship, they say, is the rusted hulk called Tulum, the ghost ship that lies broken in Dixon Cove, watching the island in silence. Maybe it's just rum talk. A legend that grows richer every time the bottle empties a little more.